Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on how to teach an autistic child to swim. This one's a very special video, and we at All Kids Can Swim have put together these strategies and tips to help all swimming teachers, all swimming parents around the globe on how to teach an autistic child to swim. So stick with me, I'll swap over to our computer and we'll go through the presentation. Welcome. So the first thing we're doing when we're teaching children with autism to swim is we're going to ask ourselves, well, why do we do this? Right, so first and foremost, we want our children to be safe. It's simple. We want all children to be safe around water. And that means not just the children who it is easy to teach swimming to. Now, I had one mother come onto our Facebook page and she said that her daughter has autism and her daughter was explicitly excluded from school swimming lessons because the teachers considered it too risky, too unsafe to teach this girl to swim. Now, I find I can't put my head around it. I find it really strange that we would go to all this trouble to provide swimming lessons to make sure that children are safe around swimming pools and then exclude the children who need it most, the children who are most unsafe around swimming pools. So that's the first reason. We do not want to do that. We don't want to exclude children. We don't want to take the easy road out. We want to make sure that all children are safe around pools. The second reason is that good quality swimming lessons can actually become really high quality early childhood interventions. So we could help children develop social skills. We can help children develop emotional skills, help children transition to school more easily, develop really good bonds with their parents, help children to have success in something. Children with autism often are always being considered to fail on land. It's hard to develop those motor skills. In swimming, they have a much better chance at succeeding. So we've got a really good opportunity here to ensure children are safe around pools and to provide children with autism an early childhood intervention. Now, you can't really find many better reasons than that. So we've got our reason. Now, how do we do it? Here we go. Here are the 5 golden rules that we've put together at All Kids Can Swim for all swimming teachers and all swimming parents around the world. Firstly, routine. No surprises there. Anyone with a child with autism or who have taught a child with autism will know how important routine is. Secondly, suitable task variation, including free time. If you are a swimming teacher, do not freak out here. We'll go through what that means a bit later. Thirdly, parent involvement in the swimming process is absolutely necessary. Our 4th golden rule is that you must use visual aids and physical prompts to help provide a successful swimming lesson. And finally, we need to have the right child-to-teacher ratio in classes. So, what do these actually mean? Well, routine is what I believe to be superior above all else. Because for children to learn, they need to be comfortable. All right? They need to have a certain level of attention, but not too high a level of anxiety. And so when we're talking about routine, we're not just talking about the routine of the structure of the actual lesson, but we're talking about what goes on before and after the lesson as well. And for children to be comfortable in the class, to have that optimal range of learning, they need to be comfortable before in the water before they actually touch the water. And one method that I've used that has worked really, really well is for children to bring an object to the swimming lessons. Every swimming lesson, the same object. Or it could be a picture. It could be a picture of the swimming instructor. It could be a picture of the child swimming. It could be their favorite swimming toy, a squirty toy, anything. But it should be the same one, and it should be the same one each lesson. Now, you should have a similar setup of your physical equipment as well. It doesn't have to be the exact same each lesson, but it should be similar to reduce anxiety. And finally, we need to have a good lesson routine, a strict structure. We want to have the same warm-up and the same warm-down each lesson. and it should be really easy for the child to follow that structure after a couple of lessons. Which brings us to rule number 2, suitable task variation, including free time. So what I've done here is I've laid out the structure of what we use for a 30-minute lesson. Now that includes a couple of minutes for warm-up, so we sing a couple of really nice songs here and we welcome each child by name. And then we move on to group instruction. And that involves me giving the parents instructions and then we all undertake the activities together. Then we move on to individual instruction, about 10 minutes of individual instruction. And this is where you have an opportunity to work one-on-one with a parent and child to really help them advance an activity. Now, what we've got here is free time activities. And this is where a lot of the swimming teachers freak out because we feel for some reason that if we're not talking and if we're not teaching every minute of the lesson, then we're not earning our money. Well, I want to tell you that that's not true because children in the 0 to 8-year-old age range, they really learn through play and exploration. This is a well-researched, a well-proved part of the early childhood research right now. So your children need to be playing, need to be exploring the water. You can either do that through including a 5-minute session in your lesson, in your 30-minute lesson, or perhaps you could have a setup where the children do a 30-minute teaching lesson and then a 30-minute free time activity with their parents in the other pool. It's up to you, but you must include free time activities if you really want the children to develop. And then of course we finish with our warm down. In my case it's goodbye songs. So you can play around with this a little bit. If you're doing an individual lesson, obviously you would include more individual instruction and not have group instruction. If you are doing a 60-minute lesson, you can double everything here. It's up to you, but really you need to have a strict structure and know what that structure is going to be lesson after lesson. Right, now that brings us to the third golden rule, which is parent involvement. So, if you're a swimming teacher, how do you involve the parent? Well, you should be talking to the parents each lesson. You should be telling them what activities, what skills we're developing this lesson. You should be giving parents homework activities to do at home after the lesson. Parents should also be making an effort to involve themselves. So if you are a parent, you should get to know the swimming instructor by name. You should ask the swimming instructor what activities that you can do at home to help the swimming teacher in the lessons. This is a really important step because by doing this well, you can really help the child develop the milestones, get to those next milestones more quickly, and help create a really strong bond between parent and child. You know, this is an activity where children with autism quite often succeed more than they do in other activities. And just seeing that happiness really helps parents and children develop a bond. So if you can do this well, it is really worth it. Now, our fourth golden rule is the use of visual aids and physical prompts. Every swimming lesson for any child should use this to a certain extent, but children with autism really can do with that little bit extra. Okay, so visual aids really help children with autism to understand the activities. And we at All Kids Can Swim, we provide waterproof visual aids of pretty much all of the activities that can be asked of a child during a lesson. And you know, we find, and the feedback is that it helps a huge deal, to the point that some children, if they are children with autism, will sit on the step and watch the instructor and listen and think that that is doing the activity. When you add the visual aids, it is amazing to see the difference. They understand what they need to do and they actually start doing those activities. It's really important as well to use physical prompts. So that means that you yourself as a swimming teacher or you yourself as the parent have to do the activity first. You need to put your face in the water, you need to streamline, you need to kick. Do the activity first so that the child has a really obvious visual example of what they need to do. So down below here we've included a picture of one of our visual aids, which is a child blowing bubbles. And finally, the right child to teacher ratio. So this is our fifth and final golden rule. And it is really, well, we debate it still amongst ourselves as swimming teachers. But what I've found is that when parents are in the lessons, you've got a bit more room to move. And I find that one teacher to 6 child parent duos is the maximum. 5 is probably more preferable, but 6 is the maximum. If there are no parents in the class, so the children are a little bit older, a little more confident in the water, then optimally you will have 3 kids in the class if it's a class of children with autism, and you should definitely not have more than 4 children in a class. And if you are a parent and you find that those ratios, that you don't have the right parent to teacher ratio, talk to your swim school about the fact that your child has autism and needs a little bit extra, and what you can do to work together on that. So let's finish on a slightly positive, slightly negative note, which is that you may lose some hair, literally. You will definitely lose some wits, but if you persevere, it will be worth every minute. And I really mean that. So the stories are virtually the same each time. Parents have come to us and they've told us of how difficult it is to start. That is the hardest part, starting the swimming lessons. To the point where one mother told me that she took her son to swimming lessons, and in the first lesson, he literally ripped her hair out and ripped her togs. Or togs, bathers, whatever you call it. She had holes in her bathers and she had bald spots on her head. And the parents looked at her and stared at her as if to say, why would you keep going? But she kept going. She persevered. And her son now swims beautifully and loves swimming lessons. And it's one of the few activities that he's really found peace with and been successful in. So even though it's going to be difficult in the beginning, I really recommend that you persevere with this, because swimming is a skill for life. Okay, so accidental drowning is still one of the highest causes of accidental death in most countries in the world, and is the highest cause of accidental death in a lot of countries for children. So there is a real need to do this. Our our desire is really strong. It is worth it. Now, if you would like some more, we do at All Kids Can Swim, we've provided a package for parents and for swim teachers, specifically for teaching children with autism. And when you purchase that, it's $25. You can download all of our visual aids, print them out, laminate them at your own time. We've got unit plans on there, we've got lesson plans on there, all of the lesson plan templates and unit plan templates for you to create your own structures, your own swimming lessons, all of the songs that we use, and that's all there for you. So please do go online, have a look around, and have a look at all of the other resources that we've got there for free as well. Thank you for your time. It's been a great one today, and I really wish you all the best in teaching children with autism to swim. It is well worth it. Goodbye for now.